Now, the loneliness of the night envelops me, and the intense pain is almost unbearable. Pain and grief of loss. I can never go back and undo what should have been right. All that's left is to live my days for the one I love. It doesn't change course or ease the burden of losing the person I love the most, but it's the only thing that saddens me right now. But in that moment, I felt deeper than ever, in the most broken place I've ever been. Sometimes the only way to avoid pain is to let it pass. We recover from our illnesses only when we fully experience them. To live is to suffer, and to survive is to find meaning in suffering. You will suffer until you become the best version of yourself. Pain does not hold you back, and you endure it. Pain, like everything else, lasts long enough until you learn to love the taste of it. It takes courage to face pain and honesty to face it. Pain is one of the teachers of life. The whole world is full of suffering. It is also full of overcoming. Pain is inevitable, and suffering is a choice. Consider everyone's feelings and be kind to everyone. You never know who is suffering alone. Tell your heart that the fear of pain is worse than the pain itself. Without pain and suffering, we would be nothing. Anything can hurt you. You just need to find something worth suffering for. It is not the problem that causes our suffering, but our thoughts about it. Pain and suffering are the source of strength and courage. The more you reject the past, the longer the pain lasts. You have to choose between the boredom and the pain of life. Wisdom comes through suffering. Those who suffer understand that suffering is restoration, not glorification. The only antidote to mental suffering is physical pain. You think you're saving yourself from pain. The reward for suffering is experience. There is no love without pain. Seeking a lot, suffering a lot, and learning a lot are the three pillars of learning. The biggest concern is not the suffering, but the constant pain. Suffering is not good for the soul. Unless it teaches us to stop suffering. It is a glorious thing to be indifferent to suffering, but only to one's own suffering. We learn resignation not by our own suffering but by the suffering of others. Life is full of misery, loneliness and suffering. Make a step to ease the pain that make you suffer. Always remember everyone suffers in their own way. God is always with you and always be with you, during your tough times. Fear to God. Not to anybody because God won't leave you. Sometimes, there's a season of life that He is so unfair. But, don't be mad at Him, trust the process. There is always a reason for everything's happen in our lives. Stop suffering. Raise yourself up. Do realize how beautiful the world is.